Excuse me. Welcome to Mondo Difficile. Each week, I'm going to be bringing you the latest current affairs, culture, and queer happenings.
Mondo Difficile.
This has been a pretty big week for all of you in New Zealand. The New Zealand police just finished their trial of the armed response teams. It's really important over the next 2 months that we make sure that the New Zealand police and our government know that we do not want armed police in New Zealand. As queer people, we know what it is like as a community to be policed.
Many things have happened in the past to gay people and to lesbians, which also happened to other groups.
But just because the police are no longer coming after us in 2020 does not mean that we should be silent in the face of them being armed.
We must recognise the links between racism and casteism and sexism and our own oppression.
Acknowledging racism in the force.
You have to recognise that there can be some unconscious bias in your organisation.
4 years on, and apparently the New Zealand police suffer from the same unconscious bias. Based on the last Tactical Options report released by the New Zealand Police in 2018, Māori are 8 times more likely than Pākehā to be the victims of police violence. The police used tasers on 66% of people who were suicidal or in mental distress. If police are armed, then more New Zealanders will be shot. Those people are far more likely to be experiencing mental health problems, they are far more likely to be Māori, and they are far more likely to be poor. While we might have a Labour-led government that talks about
kindness,
they could be the government that ends up arming the New Zealand police. Let's make sure that they know New Zealanders do not want that to happen. You can find more resources about how to contact your local Member of Parliament or the police by visiting armsdown.nz. Now, we're going to make a dish that's from right here in Catania. Cipollata catanese. This week, we are using 5 cipollina, which are spring onion, for those of you that don't speak one language. You know, I'm fancy now. And we're using about 100 grams of pancetta. So, we're going to take the ends of these and we're going to come along and get rid of the green part. Once it starts getting tree-like, that's where we want to. We just take off that. We're going to take a piece of pancetta. No, that was 2 pieces of pancetta. We're not greedy. We can do this. Okay, just kidding. We're going to take here's 2 pieces of pancetta. And we're going to start wrapping. We're going to wrap her around this. Now it's really amazing here in Catania, you know, the good old days when we used to be allowed outside. You could walk past and this is what people sell on the streets. They set up their little barbecue. It's a very good smell. Once you've wrapped your pancetta around the cipollina, we're going to go ahead and throw these onto a lined roasting dish. We don't need to use any oil on here because the pancetta is quite fatty itself. Then we're going to throw that into our oven that is at 190 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes or until these are nice golden brown. These smell and look delicious. Remember, you can also cook these on the barbecue if you want. And there we have it, from Catania, which is in Sicily, which is in Italy, to your plate. Cipollata catanese. Ooh. Today we are joined by a very special guest. He's the Green Party candidate for Maungakiki, and he's a spokesperson for Auckland Action Against Poverty. We have Ricardo Menéndez March. Let's get straight into it with some questions. Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson recently described Parliament as a little insulated bubble of disconnection. What compels you to join such a wonderful sounding work environment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Parliament is its own little bubble of disconnected politicians, but we can't ignore that at the end of the day, policymakers can have a huge impact on people's material realities. You know, they're the reason why so many people are struggling to get by on a benefit and why we don't have enough public housing. So yeah, I would love to help dismantle it brick by brick inside the house and build something that is more connected. But until then, I think, you know, you gotta do the best you can with what you've got. It's not that I'm gonna go there to make friends with the National Party MPs.
Of course, even though it is election year, we've all been experiencing this COVID-19 situation, which I think is presenting not just challenges, but also the opportunity to reimagine what Aotearoa and the world is like. So, what does a more just, less difficult world look like for you?
I think what's really important for us to start recognizing and valuing is that your employment status shouldn't dictate whether you should be able to live with dignity or not, right? And that, like, whether you're employed or unemployed, you're likely to be making some of the most essential contributions to society, whether it's caring for a friend, a family member, and just simply existing itself should grant you the right to a house and to enough food. And I think that principle means that we should hopefully be building a welfare system that gives people enough, that guarantees housing for everybody, and accept that actually a lot of jobs are gonna be taken over by automation, and that future should set us free, not bind us to poverty.
As you will have heard, there's been a lot of discussion in the media and on the left about our essential workers, and rightly so, because our working class are the backbone of our economy. But as you alluded to, both our planet and automation are leading us to a point where less and less people are going to be in jobs that are deemed productive. So in this 2020 we find ourselves in, where the great hopes of the left with Bernie Sanders, and of course the end of last year, the kind of demise of Corbynism, do you think that the left in Aotearoa has the organisation to meet the demands of organising a working class in the face of increasing automation and the fact that many people will not be in full-time employment?
Well, I definitely have hope, even though I know it's going to be a hard battle for us to organize and to make the changes we need to end poverty and bring a more just society. And I have hope because in my day job, that is what I do. I organize with people who are unemployed and who are in precarious situations, and they definitely have it in them to fight for a better future. And at the end of the day, the best thing that we can do is try. And I believe that maybe we can lead the way in that regard. There's no reason why we shouldn't try just because the UK and the US failed in their much more broken political systems, right? I genuinely have hope that we can be an example for the world in terms of the left organizing. But I won't lie, and I do say that we've got a huge barrier, which is a Labour Party in New Zealand that, just like in other countries, speaks of compassion and all these progressive values, but when you look at the policy, they still support big businesses. They don't support taxing the wealthy to fund public services for all, and it's going to be a hard battle to expose that facade of progressivism.
As you'll be well aware, in addition to the general election this year, there are two referenda, one on euthanasia and one on cannabis. How are you, as a candidate, planning on interacting with these, and what opportunities do those referenda kind of provide you with?
I think cannabis reform will definitely be driving a lot of the work that I do. I mean, the war on drugs has been the war on the poor for many, many years. We know that low income and people of color have been particularly affected by the criminalization of cannabis. And I think what's going to be really key in Aotearoa is providing a model that does not rely on the industrialization and corporatization of cannabis like we've seen in California. I think it should be people's rights to be able to access the substance in a way that it is safe and in a way that is not being driven by big businesses. As for euthanasia, what I am looking forward is to amplifying the voices of people living with disabilities who have been often shunted from the debate around this very, very delicate issue. And so that's how I'm planning on interacting on those things. But I'm proud to have done quite a bit of work on decriminalization of cannabis last election, speaking at J-Day and participating at quite a few events, and I don't expect this election to be any different.
Well, it sounds like you've got a pretty busy year ahead of you, but before you get into the rest of your 2020, you are the first guest in our segment, Oh, Machalify. I'm going to tell you 5 activities, and you're going to rank them from very difficult, difficult, easy, or very easy. And at the end, we'll tell you what you've won.
Okay.
So, let's get started with the first one, poaching an egg.
For me, difficult?
Dating a Scorpio.
Oh my God. Very difficult.
Electorate voting national in Epsom.
Should be very easy. Unfortunately, it's difficult.
Putting a duvet back inside of its cover.
Easy.
Doubling the core benefit in New Zealand and putting in place the recommendations from the government's Welfare Expert Advisory Group report.
Very easy if you party vote green.
Amazing! Well, congratulations.
What do I win?
You are an Aries.
I'm a Cancer.
According to our calculations, you're an Aries, and that is a wonderful result, so congratulations. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for being our first guest. I'm sure that we will see you soon, if not on the interwebs, probably on the news or in stuff.co.nz.
I'll be seeing you in the news.
Ciao, Ricardo. Please hit the like button, comment, let me know what you think, and give us a share. It might be a difficult world, but la notte porta consiglio. Ciao.